Ching, ching, ching. What's up, everybody? It's Al, the Deaf D-La, or just Alan, whatever the fuck you know me as. But we are going to discuss godhood. Because I think a lot of people may be confused as to why exactly I've been really just going wild with the black God thing and God body nature. Figured I can give y'all a bit of a general understanding of my spiritual state of mind at the moment. And maybe y'all can kind of vibe with me. And if you're somebody who's truly spiritual that asks these type of questions, maybe you can, you know what I'm saying, maybe dabble in it yourself. Because it's not a religion. I don't believe in religion in that context of having a structure of belief based on control and subservience. I don't. Not at all. I am not subservient to my beliefs. I am empowered. I am independent. But most importantly, I am liberated by my beliefs. So if you're not quite ready to question what you already believe, this really ain't gonna be for you. You really ain't gonna understand where I'm coming from. But if you are, if you practice a little bit of pragmatism, you can fuck with me. When I say I'm a black god, when I say that I'm a godly being, that does not rob any other individual of their own individual spirituality or godliness. It simply means that I acknowledge the inner God within me. I acknowledge my connection to the other world. I acknowledge my spiritual state of being. And I wish to reach a higher state of being, both physically, mentally, metaphysically, and spiritually, in all aspects of my existence. I've acknowledged my godliness. You feel me? And when you say God, God is omnipresent. God is capable of creating things from nothing. If you look at the subconscious mind, we're able to create things, imagine things. People can imagine worlds, life, stories that span hundreds of years. That's godly, bro. You're creating something, regardless if it's not like creating rocks and that. But the subconscious mind is an infinite universe constantly colliding, destroying, and creating itself of thoughts, machinations, and other imaginative thoughts that the human mind constantly makes up, that we can't even keep track and remember how much we create in a dream. That's godliness. How we can predict things coming to the future. That's omnipotence. It's omnipresent. We're constantly aware of what's going on. We're just unconscious to it. You feel what I'm saying? To reach true godliness, to understand, is to simply understand that it's in you. And to try to aspire to have more control of your godliness. To help manipulate the world to best suit the interests of someone who's truly godly. Think about it. If you believe in something and you feel shackled, then you're not spiritual. You cannot be godly and not practice godliness on every front. It's impossible. You cannot be godly and sit here and still eat junk meant to poison you. It's not possible. You cannot be godly and still have the life of other beings sitting within your stomach. You cannot be godly. That's impossible. That's impossible. The Bible speaks on eating meat. And I've had contention with people about why, I'll tell them not to eat pork and they say, oh, God told Paul that anything he cleans is clean. However, God appointed the Israelites as his chosen people. His chosen people were not allowed to eat certain things that were unclean to them. They weren't allowed to eat an animal that was sacrificed or strangled, an animal that was bathed in blood. Now, if you've noticed, there's not really an animal that doesn't have meat that's touched blood. If you don't cook a steak right, it's going to be red because it's bloody, but niggas still eat it. But the Israelites did not eat that. So for all you Hebrew Israelites and other people who have certain beliefs in Abrahamic beliefs, you're not supposed to be eating that. Because supposedly of the new covenant, you are his chosen people. You are the people that believe in his faith, right? I'm just saying. But even past that point, you have to look at things on a metaphysical level. You have to be able to question what you believe. You feel me? I was raised as a Christian. I was raised reading the Bible. I always questioned it. I felt wrong. I always felt like, man, I'm going to go to hell. But these things that the Bible speaks of, you have to read it in a metaphysical level. The Quran in a metaphysical level. Because heaven and hell are conditions of the mind, bro. They're conditions of the mind. But you need that balance. It's chaos and order. Heaven is a state of mind of prosperity amongst fellow people, the availability of resources to live, and it's the general longevity of life and peace of mind. It's heaven. It's paradise. That's all we want, right? To be able to live stress-free, no worries, just fellowship and love amongst our fellow people. Paradise. Rich people live in heaven. They have paradise every day. Of course they do. They don't have to struggle for anything. We live in hell. Our state of mind is riddled with temptations, thoughts, anger, rage, aggression, greed, lust. We're in a constant state of turmoil, constant state of survival, wondering how we're going to live, homeless, abused. Look at third world countries. Those people live in a constant state of hell. But you're going to sell them the idea that they have to suffer in this world to prosper in the next one when you have your heaven in the physical realm now? That's not a practice that I can believe in. We've been so desensitized to what true spirituality is. You have to completely change who you are before you can sit here and say you're spiritual, no matter what you believe in. If you eat bad, if you don't take care of yourself, and you don't generally practice a strong conservation when it comes to what you eat, if you're not conscious of what you're eating, because that affects your spirit. If you're eating pork, a gluttonous slob of an animal, you are what you eat. Besides the diseases and medical problems that come from eating pork, look at it. Look at the stature. It's dirty. It retains germs. It has no orifices for waste to come out of its body. It eats anything. It's a glutton. It's a slob. It doesn't do shit. Yes, it's an animal. Love all beings, but I shouldn't eat it. Think about this. We don't go out here and try to eat lions. A lion's a predator. But you'll go out here and eat a slob? That doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. That doesn't make sense to me at all. You eat a cow. A cow is raped. A cow is constantly raped for milk, because that's really what you're drinking is nut coming from a cow's udder. When it can't do it by will, it is forced to. Either when they insert rods in their ass to constantly make them ejaculate, or when they're forcing it out of their udders to the point where these cows can't stand up. The cow is so downtrodden and drained that it's laying there. Then as it is tired, they kill the cow and use it for its meat. So not only am I eating a slob, a glutton, and a disgusting disease magnet, I'm also eating a victim of borderline Holocaust level torture. But then you wonder if you're spiritual. You can't be. You can't be. A chicken is raised to die. These animals are raised to die in a constant state of fear, terror, and you're eating that. And you're eating a victim of torture, of genocide. You're eating that. And you're wondering why, I need to connect to God, blah, 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 blah. You can't. You have dead carcasses. You have victims laying in your stomach. You have corpses in your stomach. And I'm not saying I'm just so infallible. Like I've stopped eating meat, but it's hard. You get temptations, of course, but that you have to get past these things to achieve godliness, to push yourself past that point, to eat a diet that's of the earth, how we're supposed to. Thou shalt eat of the seed. You feel what I'm saying? That wasn't said to be funny. We're 70% water and we're eating animals. We're supposed to be living off the earth, bruh. Off the earth. You cannot have a spiritual connection. You cannot ascend to that next level of metaphysical consciousness until you change everything about you in the physical. You can't ascend. The Egyptians knew that. That's where the Bible gets its concept of heaven. We have to do better, man, as a people. You know, melanated people are godly people, man. Godly people who are descendants of kings, gods, descendants of things that don't even come from this world. Melanin, the first form of life, is something that traveled here from other planets. A godliness stretches across the cosmos. You understand? Like you have to liberate yourself. You have to liberate yourself in order to understand what it means every day when I say black God, when I say black godliness. We've been taught to see no value in our melanin, but when you really study and research, you realize that this is a godly element. They put melanin on top of spacecrafts just so it don't burn up to escape the atmosphere when it's reaching, high velocities of speed. But that's already on my skin. So you mean to tell me my skin can withstand breaking the atmosphere? My skin can do that? But I'm not godly? I'm not a divine being? We aren't divine beings? We aren't machinations of something greater? Of some higher force in existence? Word? Motherfuckers are smoking dust. Because what else can it be, man? Why you think we're hated so much as a people? Any people. We're hated, man. There's something beyond the subconscious. We're hated, man. You're hated by devils. You're loved by righteous people. Why? Why? We're godly, man. We're godly people. I don't see the concept. I ain't saying black God is some sense of narcissism. I'm saying black God is that's just what the fuck I am. I am a black divine being. And blackness, before you act like has a negative connotation, blah, 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 blah. From the darkness, there will be light. The darkness had to allow the light. The light manifested within darkness. We put a negative connotation on darkness. The universe is dark. Why? Because when all color comes together, it creates black. Everything comes from black. So that title that they try to give us, as if it's something demeaning, in truth, it encompasses our entire being as a people. Everything comes from blackness. When everything comes together, it creates black. But you still sitting around here wondering why the fuck I call myself Black God. Ask yourself a bigger question. When are you going to realize you're one too?